I would like to start with sharing with you my latest film to express our coming season.
This being human is a guest house. Every morning is a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Treat each guest honorably. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
This represents something for me because Simurg is a very specific mythological bird that is believed to be able to reborn, recreate itself ever and ever. Today I would like to share with you one bet I took in my life amongst few, but one that was a quite important turning point for me. I've been doing my fashion design as a business, as a way of living, as a way to survive since I know myself, since I finished university. And I was lucky enough to be awarded at the age of 21, and I was lucky enough to set up my own office, my own design studio at the age of 21 with that award money, which was $5,000. Back at time, probably 1995, I have to say, by Beymen Academia award. This is how I started. I was too young, too ambitious, too super hardworking, and believed that I was also believing I can recreate fashion. So this is how I started. But that I can say 6 years ago, life brought me something very special, that I was invited by Paris Fashion Week. Paris Fashion Week is run by a French fashion federation, which is the only fashion federation in the world that I can say more powerful than any football federation globally. Because the committee members, federation members are Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior, and these super names, 13 members that run the whole fashion federation, which probably has the power of, economic power of all Turkey, that I can say. So to be part of Paris Fashion Week, you have to be invited by the French Fashion Federation to be able to show on the official calendar. So I was invited, and I was extremely excited to be invited. So I said, okay, I'm 36, and it's a turning point in my career that I can take a new direction and start showing globally, which was that I tried internationally many directions, did many nice things in my career, but showing in Paris among those huge names was a big thing. So I said, okay, I take this. And with this federation, they have to position you on a very special schedule that only they would allow you when and where to show. This is how Fashion Federation runs. And I was scheduled for the last day of the Paris Fashion Week, which, according to the schedule, the show before me was Louis Vuitton, and the show after me was Miu Miu. I said, wow, another deep breath. This can seem something very prestigious, but at the same time, which is more likely, it's a huge risk. because I have to, I don't know how to manage I mean, how the press would react, how the buyers would react, and within, like, just thinking the budgets that those two shows would spend, and in between, I'm a newcomer. So I said, I have to make something very special, super creative, that everyone will remember. I really worked hard. All my team, everyone, we all worked hard. I was already working on technology. I was already working on like creative processes. So I decided I would show the whole collection, and at the end of it, I'll be preparing some plexiglass, fiber optic outfits, and also pieces and accessories, and boom. And back then, nobody was really working on these things on fashion level, which still I can say not much. And so the show day came. I can say I didn't sleep for 5 days, because like to be able to show only the models issue, because in between those two gigantic shows, for example, Louis Vuitton uses probably 100 models, and the other 100 is used by Miu Miu, so I have to make a selection of the models that are not used by them. So even only this is enough, sincerely. And the day came, we did the show, it was a huge success. Everybody that I would ever dream of to see my show, from New York Times to Bergdorf Goodman buyers, everyone was there, literally. And I was like super proud, super happy. Well, maybe now is the time to be happy, I was thinking. And then at the end of the show, the director of the federation came to backstage, said, congratulations, that was a great show. And I said, yeah, that's it. And then we did the after show party, we celebrated, we drank champagne and everything. And somehow I woke up next morning, around 5 o'clock, and I started looking at the web. I was really wondering what was the critics saying. And I saw some interesting articles about my fashion show. I couldn't understand why. And then I found a source. Associated Press released an article, which they normally do because an editor of Associated Press follows Paris Fashion Week every day and makes a report of every day. So on that report, I was mentioned as the well-known, the Turkish well-known designer Arzu Kaprol's Paris debut was a collusion. I said, why? Why collusion? The only thing we saw, the report continued, the only thing we saw on the show was the fingerprints. What fingerprints? And then also continued, these fingerprints may seem minor defects to you, but if you're showing on the last day or in between these big brands, you have to show more interest in the minor defects. That was the end of the report about me. I was like, okay, that's a step. A very cruel one. Our press office immediately called the editor and said, well, probably we didn't make you sit in a perfect location, so you couldn't see anything about the clothes because you don't write anything about the clothes. But would you like to come and take another look? She said. I've seen enough. I'm not interested. Okay. And then I was fast-tracked to depression. Direct. And meanwhile, I was really in charge of some big brands that I had to run, the designs that I had to design, like 700 designs every season, which was also part of a big business, not only for my own little brand, but also for big brands like Network. I was their creative director. I wasn't able to sketch one single skirt. I was able to run the design department and the designers, but me, I wasn't able to draw. And I was sincerely and every minute blaming myself. How can ever I make something like this? I mean, how, okay, she wasn't really like looking in a positive way, but it wasn't necessary that she should be looking in a positive way. So I knew that I would be amongst those huge names, and I was open to receive them. So I had to be more prepared. So I was like constantly thinking, why didn't I put everyone in gloves? Why, I mean, how can I be this amateur and so on? So this continued until to a certain moment after 2 months, I woke up one morning and said, okay, that's enough. I'm so sick and tired of this depression, and I want to change this. I went to my office, we scanned my fingerprints, and we created a new print that I decided to use for the next show. Again in Paris, again scheduled by the French Federation for the last day in between Louis Vuitton and Miu Miu, my second show. Okay, this I take, and this is what I'm going to do. So the show day came, we did everything, whatever was necessary, and the editor, the same editor from Associated Press came, and of course I didn't celebrate anything that night. I was waiting for the next morning, me and my team. And the next morning the report headline was like this: the good, the bad, and the ugly. I set up, I mean, before like able to read the rest of the report, I said, which one am I? Does it really matter? I was the good one. She wrote, Arzu Kaprol is a designer that can create, that can transform her failure into a creativity. And I think we would be able to see her a longer period in fashion. So, and then I decided, okay, this is a huge lesson for me to learn. And from that moment on, I decided to use that fingerprint as a lining inside every jacket of my collections, just to remind myself how a fingerprint can be this important. So this is my fingerprint story. And I want to close this with our latest fashion show that we just did this Tuesday in the opening of Istanbul Fashion Week. That also this story helped me to create something else, that I'm going more on digital fashion and technology. So this is a small part of what we did.